Welcome to Twisted Monday. I am Fiendly, and this here is my new studio. So, thank you to everyone who, a few years back, supported me so I was able to move to live with my now spouse, because that is the only reason that all of this is possible. I have my own space. I get to do stuff. Camera's not where I meant it to be. Right about hell yeah. Alright. Maybe I should put the game in a tiny window down in the corner, because I've always railed against people with webcams. Now I'm one of the herd. But instead, put myself in a tiny corner, adjust accordingly, and get ready to show you Twisted Metal Black with Brimstone, objectively the worst character in the game, on the highest difficulty. This should not really be possible with my skill level, and yet we're gonna do it because there have been new discoveries in Twisted Metal Black. A 24-year-old game just keeps getting new stuff. We're gonna skip the cutscenes because a lot of those cutscenes have that like warbly generic classical music, and a lot of it gets copyright struck on YouTube. So we know his plot. He's a dick. Drowns babies when he's supposed to be baptizing them. And his punishment is to drive the worst car. An El Camino. It should be much better than it is. But for some reason, they just decided to shaft him on the stats. And here we are. So I never normally play Brimstone. I'm wildly out of practice with the game in general, and especially with Brimstone. Did a decent amount of practice preparing for this stream just to be safe, but there's only so much you can do. We are starting at a deficit, and the only way around it is through it. But those new discoveries will be coming into play. I'm gonna do a lot of sticking and running, because even with upgrades and improvements and mysteries solved, this is ridiculously difficult to get through. So, my health is low. What if I were to park right at the bottom of this ramp and do a jump? I would recover a ridiculous amount of health, almost half a health bar. This game has secret heals, just like Twisted Metal 1. And much like Twisted Metal 1, they are in every level, as far as we know. There's this one exception. We assume it's somewhere in there and just hasn't been discovered yet. Like the other dozen or so spent a ridiculously long time waiting to be discovered. So this game's atrocious health pickups that are completely worthless, that we've been stuck with all this time, like 5% HP recoveries, those are basically obsoleted. We're still gonna collect them because this is hard, but we don't have to rely on them nearly as much, because if I return, it's back. We can reuse the secret heal every 30 seconds or so. It's a little unclear. It's faster than weapon respawning, that's for damn sure. But weapon respawning is a mystery with lots of random time intervals around it, so we don't yet know the full perfect numerology behind it all. We haven't consulted our Bibles, checked out numbers 66.6, where I'm sure the answers lie once and for all. This was actually discovered a little over a year ago. And I don't know how exactly, but at some point the community just got together. One person found one of them and assumed that that must mean there's more. And they were correct. And they've since found every single one except for one level, the final level, Rooftops. This includes multiplayer exclusive levels. So just everywhere in the game, hidden heals. Which is why it would be ridiculous if the Rooftops didn't have one somewhere. Maybe it doesn't. I doubt it. On hard mode, we are allotted one healing platform. And I've used it. Good ratio to plan for is 2 kills per death. That'll usually get you through. This special's so bad, it's the worst special in the game. Ah, beautiful though. Another weird quirk of the hidden heals is they have no Z-axis. So if I were up here and I jumped, I would also receive the heal if it were currently available. I just used it down at the bottom floor. So they're infinitely tall. You just have to park. You have to have 0 forward momentum. And you have to perform a jump, which requires about 1/8 of the energy bar. Maybe a little more. It takes a surprising amount of energy to do a jump. More than it damn well should. So this completely changes the meta of the game. What we do with resources, our routes through every level, just everything is completely different now. Significantly easier, but I don't know that the game actually benefits from being easier in this way. Like, it's kind of burdensome to have to go back to that same spot every time. Something inevitably hit me. I couldn't find the enemies that whole time. That was actually really obnoxious. Normally they are all over my case. Not there. I'd given up on hoarding behaviors like 5 minutes earlier. To have it all go to waste. So I couldn't find anyone to hit with it. So, been a good long while since I streamed Twisted Metal. I think it was the Shuffler that I did last. And since then, I have decided that for Twisted Metal's 30th anniversary on November 10th, 2025, I will be streaming every single Twisted Metal level all in a row. Even longer than the first Twisted Marathon. Just a complete encyclopedia of everything Twisted Metal has to offer. All 30 years in a day. And I'm going to do it all as Sweet Tooth, the series mascot. Might game over on this level, although maybe not. This level's very easy. There's health pickups everywhere. But yeah, Twisted Marathon 3. The Completionist Marathon. I believe I called it Fully Auto in my brain. That's happening in November. Brace yourself, because I know I should. I probably won't be doing it on hard mode like this. I thankfully won't be using Brimstone, because Brimstone's the worst. Alright. Keep exploiting our Recharging heal. It's like they programmed the terrible, useless heals because they knew you could get half heals every 30 seconds. And then no one found the half heals for 24 years. So the question is, were they intended to be found ever? Or were they debug tools? Which draws into question whether or not the ones in Twisted Metal 1 were debug tools, even. And I think they probably were debug tools. I think that's why the game ended up so obscenely hard, is because the devs had this basically cheat code to make it significantly easier. And then they didn't tell anybody. Did I use the bomber there? Well, it was just Crazy 8 who's worthless in the hands of AI. So because 2 of the David Jaffe directed games featured these hidden heals, I sort of guessed that maybe Twisted Metal 2, the other one, directed by David Jaffe, also would have hidden heals. And I'm the last horse crossing the finish line. They had found the Twisted Metal 2 hidden heals long before the ones in black. Those have been a known quantity for like 2 years now. I just hadn't heard. I'm out of the loop. And that is my own fault, but I'm getting back in the loop. If nothing else, to prepare for this bad idea I have coming up in November. So this is the first real level of the game, and I have, out of desperation in practice, explored it even more, found new pickups that I didn't know about. They're not new, obviously. Nothing in the game is new. I've also checked every version of the game that I have available to me to see whether or not they all have the hidden heals, and of course they do. I don't think any of the re-releases have had any programming change whatsoever. Some of them are a little like glitchier or more prone to slowdowns just due to the porting process, but in no way has it ever affected this impossibly hidden mystery. So the webcam is fun to watch by like eyes dart around and trying to follow all the action on the screen. Brimstone usually doesn't fly that far. Going over the cliff. Weapon bay full again. This is not normal. Sick dodge. Less sick of a dodge. Repent. Our special does a decent amount of damage, but for how difficult it is to land, and how it has that extreme cooldown afterwards, during which you can't do anything else, the damage should be way higher. I'm pretty sure they intentionally designed this vehicle to be bad. And I don't know why they would do that, but Twisted Metal devs work in mysterious ways. We are continuing to learn, and we'll probably continue to learn for the rest of our lives. I don't have any skill-based pickup, but I can't pick up that one. I've discovered that picking up a skill-based pickup while you have a full inventory disallows you to pick it up, even though it replaces the skill-based pickup that's already in your inventory, if you have one. It just won't replace the one that's already there. You get nothing. Good day, sir. Why is my weapon bay full again? I know how to alleviate this issue. So Outlaw becomes maybe the most dangerous opponent in the entire game on hard difficulty. The little bullets that it fires become actually dangerous. And there's a million of them, and they fire very quickly. And he's very, very accurate with them. Don't know quite how Warthog avoided that last one. Whatever. Play a little cleanup. I do count the refill platform as one of my lives. So if you play poorly and misuse your refill platform, it counts as being down a life to me in the math of trying to get 2 kills per death. All right. Sometimes I just fire off the lightning to make sure that this area is clear so that I can raid it. And I fell off the roof. So even if these full heals, or partial heals in the case of this game, in Twisted Metal 2 they're full heals, and I guess I'll have to show that off soon. Even if they are debug tools, we should very much have the means to use them in speedruns and obviously casual play. Should be no limitations on them. And there is no controversy about that in the speedrunning community, thankfully. So yeah, they've led to a lot of improved times and more consistent runs and pretty big quality of life improvement. Zoomies. Oh wait, not even. Sweet Tooth. If Sweet Tooth were more accurate, he would be a competitor for most difficult opponent in the game here on hard mode, but Sweet Tooth can't hit the broadside of a barn unless you do not know he currently exists. If you've forgotten and he snuck up behind you, then he has a chance. Apparently the secret of reticles is to move as close as possible to the vehicle firing them, because the arc on the reticle goes over their head and swoops around and just hits the road. Reticles are working against me too. Ooh, scythed. And frozen. Put someone in his sidecar. Even though this special is terrible and this vehicle's awful and I hate my life right now, I love landing this special on somebody. Feels like I've just stuck a little leech on them and assigned them to a pretty terrible fate of taking a tiny little bit of damage. Because even if you shield, the little man does do his damage. Still hate you, little man. It's got homing, but it's really bad homing. I'm pretty sure it's the same homing as free shots, which are really bad. So I need to stop back at the church. I'm sure that was one of the easiest of the hidden heals to find. It's a reference to Twisted Metal 1. Back in the game. Yep. Definitely want that. So probably the worst thing about Brimstone, which is saying a lot, is that its tires have no traction whatsoever. This is a slippery, slidey-ass vehicle. And that just eliminates the potential to control anything that's going on. Which sucks. It sucks real bad. Every vehicle is probably a little more slippery than they ought to be. That's basically the only control issue with really the whole game, I think. But for some reason, it's really, really bad on Brimstone. Even though Brimstone is not that fast a car. I think my guy just hit Sweet Tooth and exploded immediately. Not sure quite what happened there. I want to get out of here and start using my lightning strikes. I don't want to get hit with them. Someone else sure does, though. And I'm out of here. They're crowding my inventory, and I'm not even going to go for the speedrun strat of holding on to environmentals for 3/4 of the game. Axle's another legitimate threat on hard mode. Large blast radius that it spams constantly. Should be... of course not. At least I killed a moped. Not any of my opponents, but consolation prizes. Take what we can get. It's actually going pretty well, thanks in very, very large part to these hidden heals. Bullseye bonus from not point blank. Don't get a lot of those. Got 2 enemies here, which is not what I attempt to do most of the time. Got 1 enemy here. Just keep following me in a straight line. Oh. Didn't get to use my whole inventory, but I pretty much locked this thing down. Just gonna grab some extra items. The next level's way harder than this one. That just leaves Grim. Nope. Okay. That doesn't leave Grim. Forget I said anything. Now I'm going to show off the highway loop. Downtown has a hidden heal I need to show off, but it's at a really annoying location, which means you can't really use it nearly as often as I would like. I'll show that off eventually. And that's not all I'm showing off. In addition to the hidden heals, there was another really, really big discovery for the sake of speedrunning, which also is going to make casual play a lot more tolerable. Well, not a lot more tolerable. It makes the final boss much faster and slightly easier. By the way, there's the hidden heal. Underneath the sign for San Pedro. Pointed that out in my Let's Play in 2016. Turns out it was there for a reason. It was signifying we are to get your hidden heal in the most tasteless way possible. I am not gonna win this level. I was hoping to get through this without game overs, but that was never a realistic goal. Roadkill's making sure that take at least one. Probably significantly more than one. Much as I'd prefer that he simply didn't exist. Need that. Just deal with the butter roads. Uh-oh. Hate getting reticles in this level. I always whiff them at the last possible second. So I spent the last, like, 2 months moving into my husband's house and setting up this whole basement, my underground secret lair, just like Calypso has. I'm sure Calypso's is just as gay as mine. I guess we'll see when the TV show comes out in about a month and a half. July 31st, Season 2. God, Roadkill's being horrible today. New season, Twisted Metal. They actually used Dragula in the trailer. The right music. They did something right in Season 2. And it now vaguely resembles Twisted Metal. There's going to be a tournament, there's Calypso, there's all the things you know and love. I should take a death at this point. Just reset, because I've killed one person and I'm down to my last life with no refills. Which does not match my 2 kills per death ratio. Gonna make an honest attempt of killing every single opponent on 1 life. Like I'm actually good at the game. I keep moving the goalpost on what constitutes being good at the game. Back in the day, I would have said playing any vehicle on hard mode means you're really, really, really good. Now I'm playing the worst vehicle on hard mode. Gotta get back into speedrunning, of course. These tricks make speedruns just so much more consistent. And there's all sorts of, like, cool stuff to talk about now. I got Twisted Metal Black into a marathon having much less to talk about last time. Ooh, that was my last life. So Brimstone has no HP. No armor, bad speed, terrible special, like, you can't really even put into words how bad this thing sucks. The special's, like, really incongruous with the nature of the rest of the game. It's edgy, but in a silly way. This whole launching a follower thing. That's like a Mad Max thing. It's not a cult thing, really. It's certainly not a Twisted Metal thing. Not this dark, edgy Twisted Metal, anyway. Really, I don't think there's any Twisted Metal where it would quite work out thematically. Like 10 bangs before I landed that shot on Dark Side. I feel like it probably should have done more damage, but we're on hard mode where nothing hurts anybody except me. And everything hurts me. Real, real bad. Shadow's a nightmare. Yeah, there's a handful of vehicles I'm not afraid of. And unfortunately, another thing that sucks about Brimstone, Brimstone is one of the vehicles that is easy to fight. But you're not going to fight him because you are him. But Doctor, I am Brimstone. Just a dog shit clown. Oh well, I've beaten it before, and I will beat it again today if it takes 6 hours, which is the exaggerated estimate that I gave the shuffler, and then it ended up taking slightly more than 6 hours. This will not take 6 hours. Famous last words. But it really, really should. I almost wonder if Preacher was an early design. As we know, Twisted Metal 2012 started out a little sillier, a lot less grounded, and way less edgy. And then it turned into Edgelord City. So Twisted Metal Black might have evolved similarly. Might have started out with, let's do it a little darker, a little edgier. And then they just kept on jaffing. That leash got looser and looser. Here's where we ended up. Just a theory, though. Alright. 3 kills on my 1 life, but I have used the recharge platform. Still pretty good. I normally rely on the gap in the bridge to deal some damage. Apparently, when Sweet Tooth is a robot, then it kills the little man, the sycophant, on impact. I don't know if it takes damage. That's interesting. If I had to guess, I'd say that the game just actually makes Sweet Tooth invincible to the sycophant when Sweet Tooth is a robot. Because I feel like they just did everything in their power to make this vehicle bad. Oh, what killed me? Sort of got a little bit of one of the major strategies for playing on hard mode, which is when you bump right up against somebody, just nose to nose, bumper to bumper, the enemy AI freaks out and they can't really figure out how to escape. They will slowly try to turn towards you. And if they do succeed in turning towards you, they will fire off a free shot. And then they'll disengage. But for whatever reason in the programming, if you lock bumpers with somebody, they can't really do anything about it. You see that a lot with basically every video game ever. The nature of programming video games comes with a lot of quirks. I just watched one of those ridiculously in-depth breakdowns of Mario 64 mechanics. And in that game's still simple enough that you can explain it and get extremely thorough and granular. Twisted Metal is a console generation later and has much, much, much more variables. It's kind of impressive that there has been a comparable amount of research into Twisted Metal Black as there has been into Mario 64. possibly the most dissected video game of all time. But there is still a lot more discovering to do. I seriously doubt we have the raw code available the way we do with Mario 64. Surprisingly, we do have the raw code available for Splatterhouse 2010, Splatterhouse Remake. And that has allowed us to figure out the exact line of code that causes enemies to only be able to turn to their right when trying to face you. Which means if you stay on their left slightly, they can never actually turn far enough to hit you. And that's basically something vaguely similar to what's going on with the way enemies cannot properly disengage when they are bumper to bumper with you in this game. Like I said, we don't know the specifics, but it's definitely some programming quirk comparable in nature to that. Now, Roadkill's about the last fucking guy I'd want to see here, because Roadkill can do that. There's another thing that sucks about Brimstone. You get stuck on a corner, you're staying on that corner of your vehicle and spinning like a top for a long, long time. No chance that hits anybody. Wow, it hit him. And I don't know where he is. He's behind me somehow. Oh, he almost swerved into my power missile. You gotta get the hell out of here, Roadkill. You gotta not be on all sides of me at the same time somehow. That defies the laws of physics. And in this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics. See? So this time, it'd be different. Nothing can stop me now. Mask would be disgusted seeing me just firing ricochet missiles without even attempting to bank them. That's such a useful skill to be able to bank shot accurately. The best Twisted Metal Black players are even better pool players. Hopefully I can get some people to fall in the hole. Typically the big vehicles will do that very often. Junkyard Dog's a good possibility. I've seen Outlaw fall through the bridge a lot of times. We might have just killed... Yeah. Outlaw was there. That's obviously not who I was talking about because I was speaking in past tense and Outlaw died as I was speaking. I thought we had killed Junkyard Dog. But no, Junkyard Dog still lives. Outlaw, who's a much more dangerous opponent, is dead. This level has a ton of machine gun upgrades, which are excellent weapons to begin with, and they're especially good for this crappy car because you can't do anything besides fire your machine gun while your special is out. So we have to use our special. We need every possible little bit of damage we can possibly get, whenever possible. And while we have that special out, we typically like to be able to do something. And it makes the game more fun. I'm gonna go for this. I might have just frozen Crazy 8, I sure didn't. The free shot sucks. Okay. Everybody's gone. Why is everyone driving away from me? This is not how the game works. So really, Crazy 8 is about the only vehicle that we like to see. And even then, Crazy 8 just almost killed me. At the end of a level, it's fun to see Spectre. But Spectre is extremely dangerous until she is the last car left. Shadow down. We were sort of close enough to her there, even though we weren't making physical contact. And she kind of freaked out and spun in place a little bit. Not sure where my shot went there. One of the worst programming issues with Twisted Metal Black is that your active weapon will switch as you gain new weapons, and that includes the special. Your special is just constantly regenerating. So, sometimes you'll be about ready to shoot something and then suddenly you've got your special active. Or it will shift whatever you were trying to use to the next weapon over to make way for your special. And if you have a Brimstone, you don't want your special. It's bad. Yeah, without Turbo, there was no outrunning Spectre, but that was my first life still, so... doing pretty good. I could easily hurl myself into the water. Done it before. Oh, they're driving away from me still. Smart. Yes, despise getting reticles in this level. Pretty much the only level where that's the case. He's a robot, which makes him immune to taking on additional passengers. No Voltron he. My ricochet went over the edge. I feel like it should have bounced back. Not liking the way this is going so far. So I'm going to take a lap and look for health. I cannot game over again. My little heart can't take it. Just a strangely non-aggressive level. The hitbox for this one is pretty wide and pretty weird. I have a really hard time finding it when I don't have the sign available, and the sign is destructible. Since I spend a lot of time around the sign area now, the sign frequently gets destroyed. So I have a sense for where it is, but it is not perfect. Still new tech and all that. New to me, anyway. One more life. Can I get rid of that last sliver? It's not guaranteed. But it did happen. Onward to Minion. Take a sip of my pumpkin potion. Witch's Brew. Not sponsored. Because that doesn't exist. That is a reusable cup that is shaped like an energy can. And I'm no sellout. So you don't get to know the contents. Otherwise you might go out and buy it yourself, and I can't have that. Me and my husband are both really, really bad about buzz marketing. We will buy anything we see or hear on TV. We'll just immediately get a craving for it and have to go get it. Bought a lot of junk food that way. But knowing is half the battle. And I won't do that to you fine folks. You deserve better than to be shilled at. Okay, we found some seams. Some Mario 64 invis walls. There's a turbo. I threw the man at him. I think the man explodes on impact when he has his shield up, which might make it do damage directly to that panel, or it might just waste the man. Hopefully someone has done some science on exactly how this terrible special works, because it's definitely unique from every other special in the game. And Dollmask, at least, has done a speedrun with Brimstone on hard mode, because he has done a 100% run of hard mode, which necessitates beating the game with every single character to unlock Minion. Among other things. Someday I'll do a 100% run, but not on hard mode. Not that shit. No one should do that to themselves unless they really, really want to. Just realized Minion fired off a satellite missile. I don't think I've ever seen that before from Boss Minion. I thought he could only do fire missiles and his unique fireballs and then the flamethrower. Makes you think. What else does this have? Whatever I was about to call him have up his sleeve. Oh yeah, there's the full or partial hidden heal on this level. At the end of the platform that has the skill-based pickup. Not the one with the actual health pickup. So just head to the end of that platform, do a little jump, and get your skill-based pickup. This level really needs them, because it's only got the 2 health refills that are available in static locations. And no health platforms. Standing still in this level, though, is very dangerous. Obviously. That's the only time Minion can get you. Okay. Now we stock up. A few extra items make the next level a little easier. Unless we game over, which we probably will. Seems good enough to me. Come on, more items. I think I missed that one. Yep, the boss. They cut the scene where Preacher drowns the baby anyway, so what's even the point of watching that cutscene? You do get to see Preacher kill Billy Ray Stillwell, and thereby cause a time paradox because Billy Ray still takes part in the competition. Big guy. Just asking for repentance. Binding of Isaac. And its worst expansion. It's a shame. I really still want to like Binding of Isaac, but everyone involved with it is such an asshole. I'm sort of boycotting it. Plus, like, everything they put out for the game for years and years now, the fans have done better. I don't even think I'm going to bother with eugenics. For the name alone, really. Yeah, that game was pretty much up my alley. Not liking the general vibes coming off that development team anymore. And the fact that everyone they ever work with openly hates them and will never work with them again. Also pretty telling. Tommy Refinez, Danny Baranowski. List goes on. Okay. So I'm short a kill. I would have liked to have gotten rid of Grim, but I basically ran out of ammo. Bring the cell block. Uh-oh. Problems abound, really. Getting off the ship should be a pretty significant boon. Here's the hidden heal. You go to cell block 9. Do a jump. Now the Z-axis is infinite, so you can do that from inside the cell block, but there's no demarcation of where you should go to do that inside the cell block. So I can't find it. Oh, the main thing with Binding of Isaac is that it's owned by Nicholas, and Tyrone Rodriguez, who owns Nicholas, is a raging racist who has openly used slurs in company emails, fired people as punishment, just generally been extremely abusive, racist, cruel, awful, hateful, miserable prick who was not taken out of Nicholas, driven them into some very bad business practices, and still to this day personally writes the updates for every Binding of Isaac patch. Signs his name to him. He's been using that game to launder his reputation for years now. That alone has made me sick, and now Edmund's being kind of a dick too. Edmund, when it first broke, said he was never going to work with Nicholas or Tyrone again. He was going to let them publish the next update of Binding of Isaac and then sever ties. And he sure as hell didn't. He's still friendly. That's like the only guy who still works with Edmund McMullen after multiple years together. But once the fervor died down, Edmund jumped right back on board the Nicholas train. But that, mercifully, is not this game. That is a game you won't be seeing on my channel again, despite the fact that I've done many, many hours of Binding of Isaac. Not feeling thrilled about the numbers I'm working with here so far. The vast majority of enemies who spawned outside still uninjured. More than a little worrisome. Geometry is so bad for Brimstone specifically. A couple of other vehicles, they all are just shaped like credit cards in a windstorm. You are never getting those things back. I use the blimp attack. Blimp attack never hits anything. There's no visual indicator of where the blimp even is at any given time. Like, no camera angle in the game allows you to see the blimp while you're driving around. So, it's basically just a guess. Hoping that the blimp is actually nearby. I feel like they made it an intentionally useless environmental attack, just so that they could put environmental pickups in this level and then allow you to use them in the next level. If they did, that's a really good design. I might be giving them way too much credit for that. But maybe. I can't rule it out. I like the idea that that would be the case. The house smells a little bit like it's on fire. That's probably fine. Kind of a good smelling fire. Electrical fires are very, very acrid. This might just be a meal taking place elsewhere in the house. I'm gonna stay optimistic until I burn to death on stream. And if that happens, hello subscribers. Actually, maybe I should fake my death on stream. It's probably illegal to even say out loud. So let's pretend there was a loud beep there instead of anything I might have just said. Because obviously I've been dead silent for the last 5 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find anybody. This level is too big for its own good. Mr. Grimm's still alive somewhere, I think. Considering I've only killed one person so far. Built up 4 specials. Takes minutes of inactivity. Ooh, pre-purchase Borderlands 4. I've never played a Borderlands game before, and they look bad. They do have their dedicated fan base before, so... But I don't know what those last 2 words were, but they've got a dedicated fan base, and I probably shouldn't be kicking a hornet's nest. For literally no reason, other than a pop-up. Because now your computers can have ads. Just open your desktop, see some ads. I think that's Outlaw behind me. Nope. Axel. Oh, I didn't need to fully charge that. He was dead 2.5 seconds earlier. gets fun once you start speedrunning. You do start thinking of life in half seconds. Whole world slows down. Always feel like you got your splits open. I made it. Platform did everything in its power to reject me. This guy's bullets are very ineffective. He's got one of those, like, toy guns with a light-up muzzle, so you can pretend you're shooting your brother. And that is probably the only weapon that actual corrections officers should be trusted with. And yet... Four enemies left. I have to imagine at least one of them is almost completely unharmed. I think a few are just waiting for cleanup. There's Grim. And yeah, I hadn't seen Charlie Kane this whole level. Made him repent? Maybe that's better than killing him outright. Saved his soul. A bunch of games just announced. The one that sticks out, of course, is the Silent Hill 1 remake, for being an atrocity. Luckily, though, my husband owns a copy of Silent Hill 1 for the PS1, and it is an American non-greatest hits version, which in the greatest hits release, they patched out a glitch that is necessary for the speedrun, which means the copy just over my shoulder right now is usable for speedruns. So I might learn Silent Hill 1 as a speedrun. There's actually a ton of games I want to learn how to speedrun. Realistically, I'm probably not going to get to all of them. Some of them are pretty high priority for me. Oh, I gotta not be where I was, that's for sure. I've never played Silent Hill 1, and I've been wanting for a long time to do a full, like, series stream of all the Silent Hills. But speedrunning Silent Hill 1 is a more realistic goal, that's for sure. I hear the movement in that game is pretty difficult. And there's one trick that's a nightmare, but overall, could be a fun one. And you get a lot more out of speedrunning Silent Hill than you do Twisted Metal. At least at the moment. Maybe that'll change as they remake every game. Silent Hill Homecoming by Team Bloober. Silent Hill the Arcade by Team Bloober. I have no weapons. What I can do is glide with someone and press my bumper up against them and incapacitate them that way. But I only had Axel in there and someone else, I don't know who. Would have been too dangerous to set up. But yeah, for hard mode speedruns, you really want to learn that trick. How to wedge yourself directly into people and shut down their AI. Man's laughter. We got both the yellow icons. Manslaughter and Crazy 8. For optimum confusion. Don't play Twisted Metal Black if you're colorblind. Not gonna have a fun time there. I feel like the Resident Evil remakes made a lot more sense than any Silent Hill remake. Remaking Silent Hill 2 was a miserable idea, and then giving it to Bloober was a million times worse. Like, that's the worst thing they could have done. But it's Konami, so we expect that. Resident Evil games, they're first and foremost shoot-mans. 10 zombie action games. Survival element is obviously important to their appeal, but they were getting crusty, the mechanics were bad. They deserved remakes and they benefited from it. Even Resident Evil 4, which is pretty much perfect as is, I get why they remade it. Because the whole having to stand still while shooting thing is very, very dated. And to remove it from the original game, which numerous ports had done, destroys the entire difficulty curve, trivializes the whole game. So you pretty much had to remake that one from the ground up. I have zero complaints about the Resident Evil remakes. Although I do still intend to play the originals, because I haven't done that. I'm much less interested in the remakes, but they do not offend my sensibilities in any way, that's for sure. I just realized that you're roadkill. I should be dead. You get a real dick with the mines. Flip attack does nothing. I'm not gonna survive long enough to actually use that environmental in the next level, so better to try. Saw a bunch of indie games, but they were mostly sort of popcorn fare. A lot of Vampire Survivor likes, which I'm interested in. I'm going to be buying them. But they're not like essential, must-play, timeless classics. Some of them probably are. We shall see. There was a bunch of stuff that I saw that looked pretty damn good. Can't remember much of it. It turns out actually good. I'll probably end up streaming it because I do intend to stream much more often now. I basically have a studio in which to do so. More often than literally never. Really setting a high bar for myself. I'd love to do a regular Twisted Mondays for a while, especially through the release of the TV show. And then additional side streams throughout the week. Got the space to do so, so if you want to see me do something that probably seems up my alley, I am open to suggestion. Uh-oh, don't land on the platform. I have accidentally wasted my heals before. It's a real bad feeling. Doing okay on overall damage. Not seeing a lot of enemies, which is boring, if nothing else. I practiced this for hours, and I have never seen such consistently non-aggressive opponents as I have in this run. I really don't know what's going on. Normally that's the whole advantage of speedrunning on higher difficulties, is that enemies are so aggressive you can't even get away from them. So you're just constantly fighting and constantly dealing damage and thus getting through the game pretty quickly. If you survive. Normally Twisted Metal Black is like that too. Although you don't actually get through the game very quickly because enemy HP pools are like 1.75 compared to normal mode. Something obscene like that. So, aggression or no, you are wasting a lot of time whittling down these huge health bars. Roadkill is right behind me, but he hasn't killed me yet somehow. There he is. Luckily, you can steer your vehicle with one hand in this game. I did not do like the guy who cheated AGDQ and pre-recorded and spliced his speedrun and then just mimed along to playing the game live on AGDQ. And then like reached around and like scratched his back while playing the game. Had to come up with an excuse for it, like, oh, I played this so much. I actually switched my dominant hand to the keyboard while I scratched my back there. That guy sucked. I was so glad that he finally got drummed out of the speedrun community because he had specifically run like The Darkness 2 and bunch of other games that I love and had done Let's Plays of, and he did a really, really bad job of it. He was a terrible, terrible speedrunner who should never have been accepted on AGDQ. And they paid for it. Don't even remember his name. Roadkill persists. Trying to freeze me and then do that horrible max charge shot. One down. Ah! Roadkill's being a nightmare. Look at how many shots it takes to deal any perceptible damage at all. Every weapon is useless on hard mode. I feel like they probably didn't expect very many people at all to ever play hard mode. It is not balanced for enjoyment, playability. It's just not balanced. It's frankly bad. But when you play the game as much as I have, you sort of enjoy it anyway. Like, I've done the game with every character on normal multiple times in a lot of cases. So hard mode it is. Hey, I got a weapon. On to snowy roads. Maybe I'll pick drive-in theater. Maybe, if everyone is well behaved, I'll show off drive-through theater after this playthrough. There's like 4 people in chat, so it's not hard for everyone to be well behaved. And I know them all from doing extensive streams and having them there for a lot of them, that they have a good track record of being well behaved. Good news if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards. Alright, creep over and get the environment pickup. Don't nudge me off. You. close enough to get zapped myself. That was a loud one. Now, thankfully... Oh, Manslaughter died. Must have got bounced off the level. Good news. Alright, this game's physics are breaking down. Terrifying way. I had to survive a gauntlet of opponents to get to the recharge. And I made it. The hidden heel is back here, being guarded. It's this warehouse. Go across the narrow side, do a jump, die horribly, but take dark side with you. I respect her gumption. Whoa! Thank you, guardrails. Too bad you're so shoddily built that you break after one collision. Weaker than the cars and their built-in crumple zones. We have like no guardrails. I honestly don't normally see that. So many guardrails getting destroyed. It made that area much more dangerous than it normally is. I crashed into a helicopter. What am I, Bruce Willis and the least watchable movie of all time? Oh, starring Justin Long. So Justin Long was in Barbarian. So he is capable of being good in movies. If you take nothing else away from this, you should probably watch a film titled Barbarian. Not that it's like fantastic or anything, but it's pretty damn good if you like horror movies. Uh-oh. Everyone's driving around the corner. I probably could have gotten Outlaw with a full charge there, but I misread the visual information in front of me. Don't know what Crazy 8's doing, but it's lethal. You hit him. Not liking my odds very much. There's a trick in this level to get enemies to guaranteed every time kill themselves. Which is, of course, utilized in the speedrun these days. I have not learned that trick. It involves laying a mine on one of the lower platforms in a specific spot. It's not even that specific a spot, I just couldn't get it to work when I tried it myself. And I didn't retry it enough times to learn where the spot is. That is my own fault. It's another one of those programming limitations, though. Enemies have to approach certain locations from certain angles, otherwise they will just drive off to their death every time. And you can manipulate that to make them drive off to their death anyway. Where is that? Platform with good stuff. Trying real hard to get a field to go off. But I can survive long enough to die. A sweet tooth. The remaining enemies have a lot of health. You know, they're not very numerous. Way to help. Oh, I gotta work down here. Shadow's gonna trapdoor spider me. Health refill must not be back, and I'm out of energy. We try it again. I might also have missed the hotspot. And didn't matter. I'm trying to make a sincere effort, even when it is probably hopeless. Still try and get through. No doomerism in this stream. So even when I frequently end up with 1 life and 5 or 6 enemies, give the old college try anyway. It's always pretty hype when I can pull that out. And there was Platinum Player who was around the same time that I was doing my Let's Play, was streaming runs of Twisted Metal on hard mode, deathless, with every vehicle in the game. A lot of that has to do with just playing really, really safely. But not all of it. They were pretty fast runs. Darkside hit me with a special and drove through me like I was nothing at the exact same frame that I was firing a reticle, which was almost fully charged. Don't know why my instinct was to fire it off early there. Waste a lot of potential damage, but do something instead of nothing. Just felt like staring me down. Something a lot of people do now is go invisible after they begin charging the reticle, because charging the reticle does not count as an attack, so it does not break the invisibility, and the enemy vehicles have to pretend they can't see you anytime you have an invisibility active. So I never use the invisibility. When I get back into speedrunning this game, I'm probably going to have to learn to actually implement it. This run's going well. That might not be true for much longer. Yeah, high health enemies are all that's left. Just tank everything. So far, so good. I have an itch on my nose. I'm trying to scratch it with my lip. There. Thank you for killing me so I can scratch my fucking nose. Not kill yourself. Tempted to just drive off and attempt to get that gas can. Probably would not have had the intended effect. No gas can and no life. Two power missiles. It's not much to work with. I think this is still going to end up being quicker than my hard mode run of Mr. Grimm. Which is not saying much. It wasn't very quick. But this character's night and day compared to Grimm. Grimm is actually a really, really good vehicle. It's kind of hard to use. Not even that hard to use. You just had to hit that mine that she dropped. So this is the level in which there is no known hidden refill. Unless you count that one that I just got. There's none where you stop in place and do a jump. But this is a very large level. So there are a lot of places that it could be hidden. Someday someone is going to go through every square inch of this entire level and stop and jump on every conceivable location. Hasn't happened yet, though. I feel like it's either in the Marilyn Manson church or the clock tower. I don't really know what that location is even supposed to be. Underneath the glass dome on the highest level. But there's like nothing there. And it's this vast, vast area. It's where I would hide it. Yeah, Outlaw's terrible little bullets hurt real bad. This is not going well for Homestar Runner. 8 enemies left. Sometimes if you hang around the wrecking ball, enemies will phase right through it and not even give a shit. Okay, I think... no. Yellow Jacket did the motion that he normally does when he's killing himself, which is to swerve around you, go perpendicular to the edge, and then drive full speed forward, like he's actively trying to kill himself. I don't know why he does that, but he does it very often on this rooftop. I was hoping he had done it this time. So I don't stand much of a chance. I'm down 1 life and my recharge. Things aren't going so hot. There's the clock tower. My first guess was that it would be at the end of this plank. But also, there's this power missile that you can barely get and survive. It's not at all worth getting that power missile. I've died so many times getting it. Power missiles are good, but they ain't that good. Not worth risking your life. Might kill Outlaw. Yes. Goodbye. Now, normally you shouldn't have to kill Darkseid. There is a consistent AI manipulation you can do to force her to special off the edge. And that is definitely the best way to get rid of Darkseid. I had a lot of ammo and I wasted it. But she's gone, so take what I can get. It's a close one. Slippery tires. Gotta take this thing in for maintenance. Game has a weather cycle, but I'm pretty sure the rain doesn't actually do anything. Doesn't make the game slipperier. Pretty sure. Alright, I'm gonna have to take like a full loop of the whole level. Taking pot shots as I go. Spectre has the right idea. And there's Roadkill right behind me. I wonder if I can make the jump. Yes, just barely. 1 mile slower on my top speed. I'd have died. This level could really use a hidden heal. It's pretty hard. It's really big, and there really are not enough health refills. Most vehicles, though, can force enemies off the edge and get instantaneous kills that way. Which makes Brimstone part of the lesser half of vehicles in the game for not being able to nudge enemies. That's become the speedrun meta, is to play as one of the large vehicles, stand on this bridge, and push everybody off. Because, like, no one can resist Manslaughter's bumper. You just push every single other vehicle off of the map. And, like, Junkyard Dog can push everybody but Manslaughter. Lots and lots of fast kills. Even though you're like getting the other levels done slower, the levels that have death pits become so much faster that you just get world records if you're really good at the game. So the top level speedruns have changed completely since the last time I attempted a run of this game. Pretty much just a whole new game. 24 years after release. So, I did say that my tricks were not quite limited to merely the hidden heals, because there was one other very big discovery. There is a final boss skip. Not a complete skip, but a significant skip. It's back when I was speedrunning the game. I was among the people pushing for cycle skips on Warhawk. I had gotten them accidentally on a few occasions, where instead of having to blow up 3 tankers, you can just blow up 2. And the shield breaks anyway. I'd recorded a few times of that happening. And apparently I'd been told that other people had seen it happen where 1 tanker destroyed the shield instantly. So we were trying to figure out just like why these cycle skips happened. And we couldn't really crack it. We were pretty much convinced. I've never seen that happen before, but it didn't kill me somehow. We were convinced that it was a really unlikely, like, series of random variables coming together in such a way that the shield took double damage. So we investigated, like, cocking the tanker at a weird angle. Then blowing it up and seeing if that dealt double damage. Just all sorts of stuff we tried tried getting it while Warhawk was swooping. Maybe its hitbox was going in and out of the area of effect multiple times. Didn't really pan out, unfortunately. And then, like, right after I stopped checking in on speedrunners, one of them, I think it was, we're not quite sure, but pretty sure it was Insanity, figured out that it involves hitting the tanker multiple times simultaneously. Anything that hits the tanker more than once at the same time causes the tanker to explode multiple times at the same time, and therefore deal multiple instances of damages to the shield. And in that way, using satellite missiles, you can consistently take out the entire shield in one shot every time. Now, I'm not quite practiced in this. I'm not sure I'll be able to get the whole shield down in one shot, but it is possible. Speedruns now basically plan on doing that. And I can guarantee that I will skip at least one cycle if I ever get to the final boss, because I almost killed myself again. Getting really lucky with Roadkill not murdering me. Probably not for much longer. If I got Roadkill out of here, I'd be pretty pleased. For some reason, he's running away. I wasn't after him. He's stream sniping me. But yeah, it's really cool that they cracked the final boss skip. I was really banking on figuring that one out. And it wasn't looking good. I, once again, don't know exactly how they cracked it. Someday I should do, like, one of those fucking summoning salt videos about Twisted Metal Black. Because recently, the speedrun has gotten, like, really, really interesting. It used to just be play the game well. When I started speedrunning, it was just do really good at the game. And, like, Mr. Grimm and Spectre were at the top. I think 2 or 3 enemies just killed themselves at the same time. So I'll take that. And there you go. Everyone's dying at the same time. They're dying to die. It's very cool to see how much the speedrun has evolved recently. All sorts of names at the top that weren't there before. We've broken the 20-minute barrier multiple times over. There are like 5 sub-20 runs recorded. You pretty much have to get like sub-20-ish to even be competitive anymore. People are doing that with damage-based vehicles, not just ones that push everybody off of the maps. I'm definitely excited to do Twisted Metal stuff, do speedrun stuff, and the combination thereof. Definitely a good time to be doing that. Uh-oh. You have much more health than I expected. I thought Darkseid had killed herself. I saw a green dot flying off the edge of the map a while ago, and I thought that was Darkseid because that's what Darkseid does on this level. But not this time. Pretty much got this one in the bag. I think the only remaining enemies have very low health. So we would like to bring a satellite missile into the next level with us to prepare for the boss skip. You can do some on-site procural, but it is definitely faster and easier to bring the satellite missile yourself from this level. Okay, they're going to stay at the top level. If this was a speed run, we'd have to reset. This gives me more chances to go find that satellite, I guess. The placement of turbo is one of the worst things about this level. There's only a few turbo pickups, and they're all like, one's in this tube right in the path of all the passing AI vehicles, so they steal it all the time even though they don't need it. There's one over there, miles away from anything you'd ever want to actually do yourself. But you have to do it, so that's where one of the very few turbo pickups is. I think he's got like no health left. I wouldn't know because he dodged every single missile. Oh, he's uninjured. Looks like he wants a passenger, though. That's what that sidecar's been for this whole time. Oh, he killed himself. And I'm positive the final enemy has 1 HP left. Unless they grabbed a bunch of health pickups. Entirely possible. So you just want some machine gun upgrade, some fire missiles, and a satellite going into the final boss. We have those things. One hit away. Like I said, 1 HP left. Let's save, just in case. We've got the exact right armaments. In the off chance I'm not otherwise able to get a boss skip, we will reload the save, but I have to doubt that will be an issue. So far, so good. This has been a solid-ish run. A few more game overs than I would have liked. But you do what you can at Twisted Metal Black. By the way, full heal here. Hidden heal here, I should say. X marks the spot. Right in the center of this plus sign. You can do a little hop. Heal up a little bit. Okay, our placement is bad. I think when Warhawk perches, yeah. We only got 1 cycle skip there, I think. Yep. Yeah. Shield destroyed in just 2 tankers. For some reason, I've only ever gotten the 1 cycle skip. Other people can apparently knock that whole shield off in one go. Every time. I'll probably get there. But yeah, they cracked it. Figured out how to get double hits on the boss. Sort of the holy grail of Twisted Metal Black glitches. Honestly, that's like the only actual skip in the game. Everything else is just doing intended mechanics very well every single time. One more fire missile and that sucker's down. And this run is over in under 2 hours. Not a speed run by any stretch of the imagination, but a good time had by all. And we skip the final cutscene. Imagine someone crucifying themselves, and you will be fulfilled. Speaking of licensed music, we got Paint It Black. Or rather, casual players have Paint It Black. We get to move on to another level. You know what? Let's do all the optional levels. Let's do the freeway. Let's do downtown, and let's do the drive-in theater. We'll save the theater for last. I don't have the bonus cars unlocked, which is a shame. I really should have gotten Manslaughter. Manslaughter would have been a fan favorite here. Oh well. Definitely not doing Brimstone. We'll save Grim for the drive-in theater. If anyone has any preferences, I'm open to hearing it, but I think Crazy 8's going to be our guy. Or the freeway. Let's show off all these new discoveries. And like I said, the multiplayer levels have them too. Someone has made a video compiling all of them, including the multiplayer levels, for efficient reference. This is just for posterity, really. Really giving my own channel some validity. Uh-oh. In the pit. I almost missed the days when the freeway was considered faster than the suburbs. But honestly, I tire of the suburbs much more slowly than the freeway. I think I like the suburbs the best of any level in the game. I mean, I liked Snowy Roads the best. Snowy Roads, objectively, is not the best level. For levels that are, like, really good, and also fun to play, I'm thinking that's probably the suburbs. It's just a kick-ass level. And the Twisted Metal developers are very proud of their suburbs levels in every game. Their little documentary about themselves goes out of their way to talk about how much they love designing suburbs levels, how much they consider it an important part of making the games relatable in their brutality and their absurdity. Like, this is a silly-ass premise. You have cars with all sorts of weapons and lasers flying all over the place. It's ridiculous. But crammed into a real-world situation, like, say, suburbs, in which one might live, and they do assume that everyone knows a little bit about living in suburbs, have the familiarity. It grounds it in a way that you wouldn't otherwise have, and makes it a little bit creepy where it might otherwise be just laughable. Damn. I keep forgetting what my special is. And then not charging it up properly and not spamming it. Maybe even trying to use it at range, which is not feasible. You really don't want to waste your special in this car, because the special is phenomenal. And it recharges very, very slowly to compensate for how good it is. Crazy 8 has dropped completely out of viability in serious speedruns, just because the special regenerates so slowly as to make it almost useless. You basically have to spam so fast that you kill somebody every single time you use the special. See how that treats me. Wow. Full bars. Oh, it was manslaughter. Manslaughter doesn't dodge anything. If only we could play as him. I even considered opening up the manslaughter cell when we were in prison passage. Just for the novelty of it. I'd forgotten that I have not played this version. This PS4 version as thoroughly as the rest. Damn. Last life, 3 enemies. One of them, an unharmed Axel. Another one, an unharmed junkyard dog. I think I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time at the hospital with my occasional health refill. I don't want any chance of getting through this. I wonder who the third enemy is. I'm gonna guess that they're mostly unharmed. Looks like Spectre's arrow? It's gotta be. Yep. Fortunately, firing her special away from me. Only reason I'm not dead right now. Spoke too soon. That is the freeway. Maybe this time I'll remember what car I'm playing as. I feel like they didn't need to make the special recharge so slowly for this vehicle. It imbalances it a little to the low end. Like, this car is extremely fun to play, but it's frustrating to not be able to use your special so often. I do still intend to do some more speedruns with it, despite the lack of viability. Not really in speedruns to be competitive, mostly just to have fun. It is pretty fun to be competitive, though. Getting into the top 3 in Twisted Metal 1 was unexpected and pretty damn satisfying. May have completed my villain arc, the thirsting for the blood of others, in the form of very low time numbers. Hey, you stole my speed ball. Obviously, that's what the turbo pickups are meant to represent. Speedballs. The webcam probably looks very silly when I'm doing the special. You have to tense a lot of muscles in your arm in order to the full benefit spamming that special. I was just starting to experiment with switching the control scheme to a scheme that has the attack button on X, so as to make spamming specials much faster and easier. But I gave up on it. I don't think that really would have benefited me very much anyway. I got a bully manslaughter without turbo or any weapons. There. Just make Darkseid do it. Uh-oh. That was close. Thought I had my special selected. Thankfully I didn't, because I forgot what car I was playing as, and I still have Brimstone muscle memory. So yeah, the hospital is where you get your hidden heals. Pretty clever. If the nature of the hidden heals wasn't that you had to stop dead in your tracks and then do a jump, I think a lot of them would have been found years ago. It's just so obscure what you specifically have to do. I'm gonna get shot with the ghost missile any second now. She tried it. For some reason it just didn't work, but matter of time before she tries it again. Unless she doesn't even need to. It's like so many other enemies here guarding the hospital. I love how the emergency sign is supposed to look all busted, but it actually looks like children's font. It's a children's hospital. I thought I had him there. It's a waste of a zoomie, but whatever. At least a dead enemy is no longer a potential source of death. I have had enemies with 1 HP just chase me around and dodge my weapons for a really long time, doing chip damage all the while. A lot of runs that I might have won otherwise if I hadn't accidentally done the input for invisibility. I don't even know what the input is. But my fingers do. That was a little unfair. Oh well, this game's not about fair. Let's see, if we have a little party here, have the enemies kill each other. I've got a life to spare, so fuck it. If I deal a health bar's worth of damage just by standing in place and getting pummeled, I will take it. So if I get Shadow out of here, I'm gonna feel pretty good about our odds. Shadow can deal a lot of damage, regardless of what her health is at. Didn't mean to fire that. Don't care about Spectre right now. That'll do. Yeah. So Spectre is almost completely harmless when she is alone. Did break the bridge. That train's probably going to derail any second now. Special Devastator. If this weren't hard mode, she'd be dead already. And now she's dead. So we'll do downtown. Downtown has the worst of the hidden heals. It's just in a really bad spot. You know, let's do Shadow. I don't play Shadow very often, I don't feel like. I at least get the sense that it's been a very long time. This has been my first stream since living here and having this weird studio. Wasn't 100% sure that the technical aspects would necessarily all work, but they have. Worked like a dream, really. The internet we have here is fantastic. So I'm technically at the maximum bit rate, and I haven't dropped a single frame. And I might be able to increase the bit rate. Currently, Twitch is experimenting with 4K streaming, and for that they'll have to up the bit rate quite a bit. So when they start to implement 4K streaming more widely, I should be able to continue maxing out the bit rate. Have some really, really nice looking streams. Haven't even come close to showing off where the hidden heal is. Apparently I need to. First, I should probably destroy the buildings on the side. Huh. Well, I apparently forget how to break that one in such a way that it rolls and takes out the building instead of just immediately blowing up. Oh, another thing I hate about Brimstone. Almost every weapon fires from the left, the far left of the vehicle, and your machine gun fires on the far right of the vehicle. So it's extremely difficult to line up anything for maximum damage, and I miss constantly because every weapon fires in the same spot, and it is far from the center of the vehicle. So I hate Brimstone, it's a bad car. So, hidden heal is in this building. Normally I take this elevator to get to the upper level when I choose to go to the upper level, which isn't frequent. But this elevator, if you jump while riding it, gives you a significant heal. That's a bad spot because you have to leave the building and then go back around to even reset the elevator to get back on it. You have to go up to the upper level, which you don't often want to do. All of the hidden heals are inconvenient. That one is just kind of cruel. You have to make your life way worse to utilize it. So downtown was already one of my least favorite levels, and the presence of the hidden heal actually made it slightly worse in my esteem. Not doing so hot in this gameplay either. Okay, traffic jam. Least of their problems, really. They are caught in a war zone. Yeah, I used to be able to get Adam Bank to fall down every time. Last few times I practiced this love life, accidentally exploded the tank. And of course, because everything has changed with speedruns, they have also changed the way that they knock down the tanks, blow up the buildings. Right now, I definitely need my heal. Maybe on my last life, I'll kill 7 people. Just maybe. I think the special deals more damage if you are towards the center of the weird explosion ghost. That's how it's supposed to work in Twisted Metal 2. But due to a programming error, it does not. Ooh, I'm so dead. So I'll use my recharge platform. I'm temporarily less dead. Maybe I should have just kept playing as Brimstone. And this wouldn't be happening. Yeah, Brimstone has been the only vehicle I practiced with while preparing for this stream. And I'm starting to regret it. If nothing else, I don't know from where my weapons fire. Having them physically represented on your vehicle, though, not only indicates where they will fire from, it indicates their cooldown, which is especially useful now that I've been utilizing rear fire shots more often, especially for weapons that have homing. Rear firing shots that don't have homing tends not to work out great. Usually it's a waste of ammo. Blew up one of the buildings. Great shot, me. Yeah, you can watch the vehicle itself reload the weapon. When the weapon is visibly reloaded on your vehicle, you can use it again. I believe you can rear fire and then fire forwards within the reload time. Basically, rear firing gets you a free reload, essentially. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I remember using power missiles to take that thing down. I'm very confused. Pretty sure it wasn't this one. Maybe it was, though. I forget how to play this video game. Not so much in the ways that actually matter, though. This is not where the buildings open up. Hi, dark side. building also has poor outside indicators of what parts of the wall are breakable. I was still getting used to it. I would drive through a good building, as the other elevator, come out the other side and just keep going forward, as the entrances are aligned. You stay right there. That's exactly what I wanted. Try to do energy moves. They attacked only slightly better than Twisted Metal 2. Good thing that hidden heal comes back so frequently. Huge quality of life improvement. And who needed the game to be convenient? Stopped further away than I expected. I could have gotten a full charge and probably killed Sweet Tooth by now. It's my own fault for assuming he would be more tenacious. That'd be a good time to use the chopper. I'm just hanging around over on that side. I think there's only one environmental pickup in this whole level, though. And it ain't in a good spot. On the wrong side of the road. There's a heal back here that I never normally get. And I'm apparently not getting it now. No. I think there's a businessman hailing a cab as I was getting exploded. Best of luck to him. Wonder how often I blink while playing this game. Probably not very often. The amount of focus required is about the human limit. Thought I'd switched weapons. Apparently not. Damn. First myself to direct focus to the webcam. Something I should never do. At least kill Grim. Hope I can kill Grim. The, good thing about this special is that you can fire it through walls and stuff. But you have to be pretty well practiced with it to have any chance of actually hitting anything. And once all clumped up, though, great time to be using my special. Too bad I wasted all but one use of it. Sliding all over the road. Not a Brimstone exclusive problem to have no traction whatsoever. Yeah, thanks for the health refill. Hi, Axel. Axel does the thing that he could do in Twisted Metal 2 and completely kill your momentum. Just by specialing over and over and over again. Can't afford to die again just yet. The nice thing is that you only have to do a short hop when you're on the elevator, but you're wasting the full duration of a hop getting to that location anyway, so. I wish I had a chance to use my gas cans. Pretty battered opponents remaining. See if the helicopter takes anyone out. Probably won't. The helicopter is very unreliable. Now I'm repenting. Good. I don't know who that is, but it's doing just fine. Axel's still around. Okay. Grim, what's your HP looking like? Very, very full. For Grim, that's still not a lot. But he's all I got left, so let's arm up. Not fear the Reaper. Reticle would be nice. Of course not. I don't deserve nice things, Twisted Metal Black. On this we agree. Oh, no health refill either. There he is. Waiting around a corner for me. I'm gonna call this a victory. Let's see. You win. I need Michael Buffer to come out and lift my arm aloft. Because I deserve it. On to the conclusion. I also never ever look at webcams. They're like pointless. But my husband had one lying around, so I hooked it up. It's what streamers do. And now, on this very day, I become a streamer. But yeah, I'm still working out like where to put it and shit. Because I don't know what other people do with theirs. Because I don't pay attention to them. Anyway, when I did my hard mode playthrough with Mr. Grimm, I said, can you imagine doing the drive-in theater on hard mode with Grimm? Probably be a long, long time before I tackle that. The time has come. So have I. I might game over 150,000 consecutive times, but the time has nonetheless come. At 150,001st, we will achieve true victory. Possibly Pyrrhic victory like we did in downtown. So far, it's looking like gonna get at least one. I love when the scythe loops in on itself. Makes the sound infinite times at once. I wish it dealt damage infinite times at once. But the main thing that makes this playable is that we have more health refills. This level is really lacking in health refills. Unless you have bizarre knowledge that I'm not sure how anyone ever got it in the first place, but it's the bridge. The bridge heals you. Because it's just about the only landmark. The only other place would have been behind the screen. Now on hard mode, the enemies are always nearby. They frequently congregate near the back of the level. And they always have a satellite missile waiting to drop on you. So when you go to the bridge to heal, you will probably have 5 satellite missiles dropped on you at the same time. And lose more health than you gain. At least that's been my experience with having to stop for 1 second in order to get half my health bar back. Bit of overkill with my scythe, but better than underkill. Something's being dropped down the stairs just behind me. Good thing we missed the thunderstorm. There was a thunderstorm until, like, the exact moment that I started this stream. As there have been many thunderstorms over. That special's good. Yeah, we're good. I have a lot of sound dampening in this room, so I doubt I am bothering anyone as I do this. Pretty soft-spoken to begin with, so not a ton to worry about. Good thing, too, because I do an all-day fucking stream in November. Can't be pissing off the roommates. To whom I may or may not be married. I should go under the bridge. And wow. That insult to injury. Crazy 8 zapped me to death. So Grim might be the worst vehicle as far as shape and the way that landing and getting nudged by enemies and stuff causes you to just freak the hell out. Not quite sure how I'm still alive. Cars and Mr. Grimm have weird shapes that tend to spin like tops if they get nudged in any sort of direction at all. One down. Uh-oh. Knew once he giggled, I was done for. We got Crazy 8, that's good. I mean, I knew we had him because he killed me last time. Yellow Jacket's pretty good to see. Sweet Tooth, obviously not so much, but wow, we got such an easy group of enemies here. This is about the least dangerous possible setup for this level. Still very dangerous. I think I had the slightest bit of forward momentum when I used the last of my energy to jump. Therefore, did not get my healing. Yeah. We'll just sit here. There we go. Yeah, this level you have to use your energy so constantly. Every resource is just so tight here that doing the jump to get the heal is not guaranteed. Damn it. Stop saving each other. Okay, I've got enough for a heal anyway. I missed the spot. It might not be back since we don't know the mechanics, and it's hard to keep track of time when you're playing through a level this stressful. 1 second feels like a million years. I don't know why I'm not dead 1,000 times over yet. The enemies are getting sick of me, though. Really redoubling their efforts to take me out. Ow. That's about the longest I've ever lived as Mr. Grimm in a really small arena with 7 enemies. I don't think I got the mercy bonus there because you can only get so many mercy bonuses per level. And speedrunners do not know why that is the case. No one knows why, really. You should get a mercy bonus every single time you run over a driver, but it simply doesn't work out that way. Things look pretty bad. 5 on 1, and I have flashing red HP. There we go. Thank you, Shadow. Fuck yeah, indeed. Glad to have you. This is one of my favorite games of all time. And I am playing it in perhaps the least fun manner possible. Highest difficulty with somewhat weak vehicles. Grimm isn't weak, but he has super low HP. Which is really, really, really bad for this level. We're just doing a bit of a challenge thing. And showing off a bizarre, newly discovered mechanic. I need to show off right now. What? Hey, that was supposed to heal me. Guess it hadn't become available again. It's the problem with invisible pickups. You have literally no idea whether or not you're supposed to get them. I believe for this level they wanted the hidden help to be on top of the bridge, but it has no Z-axis, so as long as you're in the vicinity of where the bridge is supposed to be, do your jump, you get your heal. At least most of the time you do. Oh, I didn't go through the full throwing animation. Scythe should have been lethal. We're hoping that Twisted Metal in general becomes a lot more popular at the end of next month when the second season of the TV show comes out. Streaming on Peacock, July 31st. Hopefully they release it episodically. A big mistake in the first season is they put out the whole season in one day. It wasn't a good show to binge in the first place, and it prevented the show from having any legs whatsoever. Came out, there was a lot of hype leading up to it, but people had one day in which to talk about it. Not everybody was able to take advantage of that opportunity. And it sort of faded away. Chaotic circumstances brought it back for one more shot. I don't think there's very good odds of there being much beyond the second season. But I do hope if it is successful enough, it'll shine a light on the games. I think the TV show first season was very good, but it made a lot of decisions that were baffling and irritating. It was really good despite itself. I'm hoping that the second season, because it actually has the tournament, and they seem to be making better choices with the music, will be a lot better. They're bringing back more iconic characters for the second season. They're doing things that are actually appropriate to telling a story in the Twisted Metal universe. I like those odds. But yeah, even if the first season was all that existed, I would say definitely watch it. It is worth your time. Surprised they have so much health left. You go into one stress-induced blackout while playing this level. Next thing you know, there's 2 enemies left, and you have most of your HP. Could pull this out. One down. I got a lot of sides, too. Oh, he saved himself with his own ricochet. Bounce it into himself to knock him out of the way of my attacks. This season we'll have Dollface, Axel, Mr. Grimm. I don't think we know exactly who else yet. Obviously, John Doe will be back from the first season. Sweet Tooth, of course, goes without saying. First season didn't have any of those first 3, which was bad. So I'm looking forward to those guys and anyone else they bring in from the games. Flower Power was in the first season and will probably be somewhere in the second season. But yeah, good show. Good video game series, definitely. Fun to play on hard difficulty. Now that we have access to hidden healing moves, makes a world of difference. Otherwise, I would not have gotten through that run. Not even close. That was ugly, but successful. We're done. Twisted Metal Black. Expect to see more of this and other Twisted Metal games. Probably every Monday. At least until the TV show airs. And then for a short while afterwards, as I have to talk about it. And that is at the very least. I'm not sure which side of the camera my hand is on. Still getting used to this thing. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see y'all next week and other forthcoming weeks. And also midweek, as I plan to do more streams then as well. I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.